So with so many of us stuck indoors, I thought I'd take you for a walk in the woods. I'm blessed to have these woods and trails right out my door now. I might spend more time looking down at the trail than looking at you. Please forgive me. So I hope you're staying well and safe in these crazy times. I don't have to tell you, I think the world for all of us has changed just so dramatically in the last few years. But the thing I was thinking about is how the world has sort of tilted in our direction. All of a sudden the world is waking up to the idea of online education, to the idea of online business. And of course, if you're watching me, I assume that you're either in this business or you've had an interest in this type of business for a long time. It's been a quarter century for me. It's been since 1996. That's when I started my first online business. It's crazy that it's been that long. Quarter of a century. Crazy. But the world is tilting in our direction. So if you have an online business, a virtual business, especially a training business, well, it's like the world's tilting in our direction all of a sudden. And I'm not saying I'm happy about what's going on. I don't want to be a profiteer. I don't want to exploit what's going on. But the reality is if anyone's prepared for this, it's those of us with an online, with a digital business. And the results are starting to come in. I'm starting to get data now, like the open rates. People's open rates are going up for their emails. Their views are going up. The consumption is going up of videos, and starting to get some results from promotions. And I've got people that have done promotions and done really, really well. Now, there are some people that promotions aren't doing quite as well. It could depend on the market. But even for those whose the sales aren't coming in, still the consumption of the material is coming in. And I think that bodes well for the future for those businesses. Also, the crazy, I think we're starting to get used to what's going on. For a few weeks there in March, it was shock after shock after shock. And now I personally think the bad news is going to keep on getting worse for a while now. But the crazy shocks have eased up. And if you're in business and you're trying to do some type of a promotion or something, some of those shocks could have really set you back. So again, I'm not trying to exploit this. I'm not trying to be a profiteer. I'm just saying, business right now, if there's ever a time where business had to happen, the time is now. And I'm not saying it means get out there and sell, but you need to focus on your business. We're all focused on our business. We're all focused on our livelihood. Because in addition to everyone's health, the other big concern is their financial health. And so, in any case, what we're seeing is, I think the world is tilting in our direction. If you look at it, universities are taking all their stuff online. Primary schools are taking all their stuff online. Big corporations are are now having their people be work virtually. It's all moving in the direction that we've been in for a while. And I think it's all going to be just fine. It's all going to be just fine for us. And like I talked about this last week, you have to build value. You have to deliver value. You have to build value. Will get compensated for the value that we create. That's a true belief of mine. We all get compensated for the value we create. Not the money, not the time we put in, not even the effort we put in, but the value we create. And remember that when you get out there and you do a promotion, it's the value you create in that promotion that comes back to you in those sales. And I mentioned this yesterday. I'm going to keep on talking about this. You have to acknowledge what's happening. And you have to, in your messaging, you have to acknowledge that the world has changed. And it's just primary, because it's almost like a wartime economy. The world has changed, and if you go out there with the same message you've been using, it's gonna land flat. So same things I mentioned last week: build value in your promotions, build value in your publishing, acknowledge what's going on, and tie it to what you're doing, and show up and be of service. So to that end, last week I mentioned we're scrambling. Once a year I do. It's been 15 years. once a year, I do a free masterclass for my product launch formula. It's generally in the fall, usually September, October. This year, or not this year, but right now, I'm scrambling to put together my biggest, best free training ever. Hopefully, if my team and I pull us off, we'll have it ready for you in the next week or so. So all new, and a focus on how you launch in the current times, but also how you launch quickly and with absolute minimal effort. So look for that from me. I'll have some more. Obviously, if you're on my email list, I'll be sending you an email in the next few days telling you all about it. If you're not on my email list, go to productlaunchformula.com and join me there, and we'll get you all hooked up. I think this train's going to be super cool. We are just slamming it together with great care and thought, but reality is we are scrambling to put together something that normally takes us months to put together, and we're scrambling to put together in days to get it out to you. And it's all going to focus on how to promote, how to have a business in the current environment, how to create a business, how to grow your business in the current environment, and how to do it quickly and in the most simple way possible. So that's what I've got for you. Wherever you're at, scroll down, leave a comment for me, and let's go get them this week.